Worship is about being poured out as much as it is about being filled up. I think what we've done is become consumers, just like we have of everything else, of worship. And we have forgotten that we are the consumees in worship. Worship is not something we consume. Worship is something that consumes us. If you've never really thought about that, I've been kicking it around a little bit. Maybe this will help us see it. Consumer worship asks, what's in it for me? And I don't want to go down that tangent today, but many of the conversations we're having in the church about worship, all they are, and I say this gently because I don't know where you're coming from, so I'll back up and qualify a little bit. Some of the conversations we're having in worship are potentially just saying to the world, we are so not about changing our culture and winning the world. Because all we have time to talk about is whether we like this, or whether we like this, or whether we want this, or whether we want that. I think those are the kind of conversations people have who are not at war, who are not in the game, who are not seeing cities being changed, and many people coming to saving faith in Jesus Christ. And they got too much time to sit around and go, well, I don't know, should we put the organ over there, or should we put the organ over there? Should we include this in this deal, or should we include this in this deal? And God's going, hello, why don't you get outside the church for a while and lead some people to Jesus, and once that happens, you'll stop having so much time to fight each other about what kind of songs you're going to sing. Yeah, you don't have to clap for that. It's just true, though. It's true that we become an insiders club of conversation havers about worship, and God's like, yeah, you know what? Sing whatever you want to sing, because I don't care. Because outside the walls of your church today are so many tens of thousands of people who've never, ever heard the song of heaven. You can sing whatever you want in there. I just really don't care. You're consumers of worship. Well-fed people who keep coming to the banquet table and saying, what do you got for us today? I want to be taking baby steps out of consumerism and towards consumeism. Consumers ask, what's in it for me? Consumees declare, I'm in it for you. Consumer worship is about what you get. But consumee worship is about what you give. Consumer worship is about something you buy. Where consumee worship is realizing you have already been bought. Consumer worship's about downloading. Consumee worship finds you often bowing down. Consumer worship is about style. But consumee worship is about surrender. Consumer worship is enjoyable. Consumee worship is costly. Consumer worship's about my preferences. Consumee worship is being concerned about what God requires. Consumer worship feels good. Consumee worship hurts good. Consumer worship is where we use up the songs. And we're doing that pretty fast. Oh, we don't sing that one anymore. Anybody heard that to church recently? We've sung that one to death. It was a great song, but we sang it 1,000,000 times. And now we're done with it. Chris, we need a new song. Because we've sung that one just under the table. Consumer worship uses up the songs, but in consumee worship, God uses up the singer. Consumer worship's about my choice. Consumee worship is about His will. Consumers can't get enough, but consumees always seem to want to give more. Consumer worship's about trends, while consumee worship is about eternity. Consumer worship, and please hear this in balance, God's happy for us to be satisfied in Him, and God's glory and our satisfaction are really the same thing at the end of the day. But consumer worship is about our happiness. And consumee worship has at its core the desire to bring a lot of happiness to God. Consumer worship's about me. And consumee worship is me being all about Him. And I wonder, where are we today? Consumers, or the consumee in the hands of the living God? I tell you